we're going to make a TV film about Kermit Gosnell. Kermit Gosnell is the most prolific serial killer in American history, but almost no one knows who he is. The media have basically ignored his crime and his trial.
That is one of the would-be directors of a rather controversial movie about America's most prolific serial killer. In fact, that director will be on with Brian Lilly tomorrow night on Byline. But this is a very interesting story. It has to do with an abortion doctor who performed a number of illegal abortions, 21 in total when it comes to the illegal abortions, but it was also convicted of a number of murders, and it might be somebody you've never heard of. Alyssa Golub is here to talk a little bit about this. To me, this story is fascinating. It should be produced, but there are some speed bumps here.
Absolutely. I mean, first, it's supposed to be crowdfunded, and at first they put it on Kickstarter. And Kickstarter was putting up a lot of roadblocks, saying that there was political motivations behind it, and using the word stab because they were describing how the abortionists did the abortions, you know, putting up graphic sensory warnings beforehand. So they changed it to a different company called Indiegogo, which they're trying to raise now $2.1 million to produce this movie.
Who are we talking about here? Because it's not a household name, and I blame a lot of the mainstream media with their own agenda for not making this individual a household name so that we can all know what was going on.
Well, Kermit Gosnell is a 72-year-old abortionist from West Philadelphia, and for 30 years he committed so many abortions, thousands upon thousands, but he was known for doing a procedure called snipping. So basically, if he had a botched abortion, the baby would be born alive, and he would take scissors and stab the baby in the back of the neck, snipping the spinal cord, and basically behead them. And he would take those body parts and he would flush them down the toilet or down the sink. And so very often they would have to call plumbers, and they would have to unclog these systems with these drain pipes with these aborted babies, and he would keep the baby's feet as trophies. There was lots of jars of baby
This man
parts.
was a monster.
A monster, grisly, horrific, absolutely disturbing. You haven't heard about something like this in many, many years, and yet the media was completely silent. It only was when the pro-life movement across North America took to Twitter and did tweet-a-thons and tweeted at all the major media outlets that they started to pay attention, and Anderson Cooper and CNN and different secular news sources started to follow the trial.
Yeah, it's sad that it takes something like that, but good for them for raising the attention. Let's talk about the idea of not being able to produce this movie, or not, getting kicked off the initial crowdfunding website. For me, they make all sorts of different movies, some of them insensitive, some of them controversial. They get made, but why not this one, you feel?
Even with, titles that have profanity in the names, and obviously many documentaries are politically motivated, so there was definitely a bias when it comes to this, which is why they changed it. And, one of the biggest movies that was made through crowdfunding was the recent Veronica Mars movie, and it raised about $5.7 million when it was only asking for $2 million, so they're hoping to surpass that. They're currently asking for $2 million and hoping that, pro-lifers and people in general who want this man exposed for the crimes that he committed to actually help make this movie a possibility.
Let's take a quick look. Gina, let's take a quick look at the Kickstarter campaign itself. I understand you've got a little bit more information on it.
Yeah, because anybody can donate money to this. This is the really cool and crazy thing about social media and crowdfunding. Basically, you could donate 25 cents. Well, great, it's just 25 cents, but if enough people do that, you can raise an incredible amount of money for these really different causes. And there are tons of politically driven documentaries out there that are raised on here, but this one doing very well. $144,000 raised so far, and they're, as she said, trying to get $2,100,000. So you can go to Indiegogo.com/project/Gosnell-movies, or you can just type in Gosnell movie in the search bar and watch their campaign video. And if you want, you can contribute right there.
Yeah, and I think this is a great way of doing things. Obviously, it's the wave of the future when we talk about projects like this getting made. I mean, for me, when you look at something like this, it's a story that needs to be told. I'm shocked at the fact that these networks don't get behind a project like this. Certainly, they would put out something about Jeffrey Dahmer, who is a notorious serial killer, somebody who did evil things. Why would you not put your name behind something, a story like this, grisly, gruesome, but fascinating nonetheless, that needs to be told.
They were actually comparing it to a similar trial that was happening at the same time, a woman named Jodi Arias, and she murdered her boyfriend. And every single day the news would have updates about the trial, but yet at the very same time this trial was going on with this man who not only killed babies by snipping, but also killed multiple women. So women should be up in arms about that as well, because he hid these crimes. He sold illegal drugs under the table. He made almost $2 million every year, but said he was a soldier of poverty, trying to rid the world of poverty when he himself was profiting so much off these grisly crimes. So I think that, Twitter and social media is the future, and making your own documentaries and getting these things exposed is the way to go.
When it comes to the abortion debate, obviously that factors in. I don't want that to be the elephant in the room. Let's address it head on. Where do you think a movie like this places itself in the abortion debate? If people watch it, would that change minds at the end of the day?
Well, I think, I hope so. I mean, there were stories of pro-choice news reporters, very few of them, but one of them was actually following the trial, and because of the testimonies that the workers in the abortion clinic gave, he completely changed his mind. So how can you not? I mean, you hear about these terrible stories of these women in desperation, going into these clinics, getting drugged, getting these terrible abortions happening to them, being killed, getting a lot of physical side effects. How can that not affect your view on abortion? So, and even because of the trial, NBC on the Today Show, they interviewed Obama and they asked him about the trial, and he said he couldn't comment because it was currently pending. But Obama himself voted on numerous times against the Born Alive Victims Protection Act, which would make it illegal for an abortionist to kill a baby that was born alive, that was born viable, and he kept voting against that bill.
Yeah, and that's something he knew the facts of and decided anyway to vote against it. We appreciate the time on this today. Hopefully a movie like this does get made so people can judge for themselves.